So, Ronnie O'Sullivan's not just packing up his cues, he's packing up his whole life, and he's not going alone. After months of silence, the snooker icon is back in the headlines, this time not for a century break, but for rekindling love, selling up in the UK, and planning a move to the Middle East with Laila Rouass. Yes, it's official. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Laila Rouass are back together. The pair split up just 9 months ago, seemingly for good, after being together for more than a decade. They'd been engaged since 2013 and their relationship had weathered plenty of highs and lows, but now they've decided to give it another shot. Close friends say the time apart helped both of them reflect. One source put it simply, the time apart gave them time to think about what they want and what is important to them, and that is being together. And apparently, they've been back together for quite a while now. This wasn't a sudden reunion, it's been quietly building behind the scenes. But this time, it's more than just a relationship reboot. They're planning a fresh start altogether, one that involves moving nearly 4,000 miles away from the UK. The couple is setting their sights on Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Why Dubai? It turns out the location couldn't be more practical. Ronnie's Snooker Academy is in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and Dubai is just a 2-hour flight away. A source close to the couple explained, they've talked about living in Dubai, which is just a 2-hour flight from where Ronnie has his Snooker Academy in Saudi Arabia. As part of this move, Ronnie's putting his luxury home in Chigwell, Essex on the market. The house is listed for £2 million and sits on the edge of Epping Forest. It's not just any home either. White carpets, elegant decor, and even a dramatic portrait of Raquel Welch on a crucifix hanging on the staircase wall. One fun detail. Despite all the high-end features, Ronnie could never convince Laila to let him install a snooker table inside the house. Now, let's rewind for a second. The two first met in 2011 when Ronnie called her up, through a property listing no less. He asked her to view the house, and it was Ronnie's father who ended up giving her the tour. Talk about an unusual first impression. But something clicked. By 2012, they were officially dating, and in 2013, they got engaged. Their romance has had its rough patches. In fact, their split last year was tied to what many say was one of Ronnie's hardest seasons. He was barely playing snooker, looked off form, and publicly seemed to be struggling with balancing his personal and professional life. After the breakup, Laila got candid on social media about what she was going through. In a post shared in March, she wrote, "Breakups can strip you down to your essence. I got through mine by using pain as fuel to take control, because no matter what, we will lose parts of ourselves in relationships. It's normal, don't beat yourself up." And she wasn't just venting, she was reflecting. "One thing I'm conscious of not doing is trying to get back where I was. No, I'm discovering who I've become. I've gone through various emotions, hurt, pain, anger, but what I've realized about anger is that it's bottomless." Clearly, it was a tough time for both of them. Fast forward to May this year. Ronnie made it to the semi-finals of the World Snooker Championship but lost to Zhao Xintong, who went on to win the title. After that match, Ronnie made headlines again, not just for the loss, but for what he said after it. Speaking to the BBC, he confirmed what many had been speculating. "I think I am going to be moving out of the UK this year. I'll be moving away to the Middle East. We'll see how it goes. I might be back in 6 months." He didn't make any solid promises about retirement, but the tone suggested a shift in priorities. "There's going to be a few changes in my life, so I'll see how that goes. I'll still try to play snooker, but I don't know what the future looks like for me really. Am I not playing again? I'm not saying anything. I've said it so many times. There's a lot more important things in life to worry about than a game of snooker." So it's not just about love, it's about lifestyle. The move to Dubai seems part of a bigger strategy, getting distance from the UK scene, starting afresh, and maybe even reshaping what his life looks like beyond snooker. According to people close to the couple, Ronnie has been discussing the relocation plans with his snooker peers. He's excited, he wants that clean break. A source noted, He has spoken to people on his snooker circuit about the move and is excited about a clean break from the UK for him and Laila. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Ronnie isn't walking away from snooker entirely. Last year, he signed a 3-year ambassadorial deal with Riyadh Season and launched his own snooker academy in the heart of Saudi Arabia. The academy opened in October in Boulevard City, Riyadh. It's a high-end facility designed to train snooker talent under world-class conditions. It features 5 professional-grade tables made by Star Xingpai, the same manufacturer partnered with the World Snooker Tour. It's clear the Middle East is becoming a central piece of O'Sullivan's post-tour vision. Dubai, with its international connections, luxury lifestyle, and proximity to Saudi Arabia, makes perfect sense as a new home base. From everything being reported, those close to Ronnie and Laila are rooting for them. They've seen the ups and downs. But this time, it feels more stable. One insider told reporters, they've had their issues in the past, but Ronnie and Laila have worked through it and seem really happy again. The people who know them think they make a great couple and just want them to live a happy, quiet life. Of course, Ronnie's still leaving the door open. He hasn't said he's retiring, but also hasn't ruled it out. He's taking things one step at a time. In his own words, "It is a big part of my life, but I have to try and figure out what my future looks like, whether it's playing or not." It's that mix of uncertainty and honesty that fans have come to expect from Ronnie. He's never been one to give easy answers or stick to a rigid path. This move is just the latest twist in a career and a life that's been full of them. So where does all this leave us? Ronnie and Laila are back together. They're moving to Dubai. The £2 million Essex home is up for sale. And while snooker isn't off the table, it's no longer the only thing on his mind. For now, it's about rediscovery, a new city, a renewed relationship, and a different kind of pace. As one source close to the couple put it, they'll see how it goes. Ronnie O'Sullivan faces the prospect of having to qualify for the World Championship for the first time since 1994. The 7-time champion currently sits projected at 17th in the rankings for next year's Crucible. Only the top 16 seeds avoid the qualifying rounds, heading straight to Sheffield for the tournament's last 32. The Rocket last faced World Championship qualifying 31 years ago as an 18-year-old. He defeated Dennis Taylor in the first round before falling to John Parrott in the last 16. The 1994 qualifying featured legends like Alex Higgins and Cliff Thorburn competing for Crucible places. O'Sullivan was just 18 years old at the time, marking what he describes as a different time entirely. Despite currently holding 5th place in the world rankings, O'Sullivan's position faces significant threat. His ranking points from the successful 2023-24 campaign will drop off under snooker's 2-year rolling ranking system. The 49-year-old had a brilliant 2023-24 season, winning 2 ranking titles. However, on the 2-year rolling ranking system, those ranking points will come tumbling off over the coming campaign. Sullivan reached the semi-finals at this year's Crucible. This achievement came after a period away from the game, as he opted out of multiple events. His absence from numerous tournaments in the latter part of last season has left him vulnerable to sliding down the rankings as older results expire. The 2025-26 season begins on June 22 with Wuhan Open qualification at Leicester's Mattioli Arena. This marks the start of a crucial campaign for O'Sullivan's ranking position. The season launch represents critical timing for the former world number 1 who begins the snooker season, with work to do to avoid an unwanted trip to World Championship qualifying next year. The projected rankings for next year's World Championship show O'Sullivan sitting at number 17. This positioning would force him to compete in qualifying rounds, as only the top 16 seeds head straight to the Crucible for the last 32 of the tournaments. The ranking calculation system creates ongoing pressure as points expire automatically after 2 years. O'Sullivan has never had to qualify for the World Championship since his teenage years. The last occasion he competed outside the top 16 came after his 2012 world title victory. He took a year-long break following that championship, which caused him to tumble down the rankings. However, he returned to the Crucible as number 1 seed because he was the defending champion, receiving automatic entry protection. The current situation differs significantly from 2012. O'Sullivan faces no defending champion protection and must maintain his ranking through tournament participation. His recent absence from competitive play has created vulnerability in the ranking system's mathematical calculations. O'Sullivan has responded to the ranking threat by entering several upcoming tournaments after a quiet end to last season. The Rocket has committed to competing in the Wuhan Open, British Open and Shanghai Masters. This commitment signals a busy start to the new campaign and marks a shift in approach for the 49-year-old, who had previously opted out of a string of events despite reaching the Crucible semi-final just weeks ago. The upcoming tournaments offer crucial opportunities to accumulate ranking points and secure his position within the top 16. Tournament entries represent O'Sullivan's strategic response to mathematical projections that threaten his automatic Crucible qualification. Should O'Sullivan find himself in the qualifying rounds, he would be heavily favoured to progress through the 2 matches required to reach the Crucible. However, qualifying presents risks that established champions typically avoid. Neil Robertson discovered this reality 2 years ago when he lost 10-9 to Jamie Jones in the final qualifying round. Robertson faced the nerve-shredding qualifiers and was beaten despite his pedigree, missing out on a trip to the Crucible for the first time since 2004. Robertson's elimination demonstrates that nothing can be taken for granted in the high-pressure environment of World Championship qualifying. The Australian was an unlikely name to face the qualifiers, but fell victim to the system at the English Institute of Sport. His experience serves as a warning that qualification success remains uncertain regardless of past achievements. O'Sullivan is not alone in facing this predicament. Mark Allen currently sits projected 1 place below him at 18th in the rankings for the 2026 World Championship. Allen remains comfortably within the current top 16, but faces the same challenge of maintaining his position as older results expire. Former world champion Luca Brecel finds himself in an even more precarious position. The 2023 world champion sits 37th in the projected rankings after his Crucible triumph. Brecel's dramatic ranking decline illustrates how quickly circumstances can change under the 2-year rolling system. All 3 players remain comfortably within the current top 16, but face significant